Where our leader goes, Obidient movement does what? We follow. So Obidient movement, in answer to your question, is together, is intact, is strong, is resolute, and is moving. That's the answer to that question, quite frankly. Thank you very much.
I asked that because we've had, so many part of the movement dissociating themselves from activities of some other part of the movement. Now, you just said that we're not about a political party. We're about the ideology of Peter Obi and trying to see how we can have those kind of persons in government. So, which means that the movement has members in all political parties. Is that your position?
Absolutely. People voted for P2B across party lines, across culture, across religious lines, across all kinds of ethnic whatever divide. P2B transcends the ideology, the personality of P2B and what it represents. Transcends party. In my state, I have people who supported the presidential elections that were not members of Labour Party. Quite a lot of them gave money to the process. So you cannot come and make it about just one party. Obidient movement is more than a party. There are people who don't belong to any party at all. But they stood up and say, you know what? I don't believe in any party. I have my voter's card. I am going to vote because I'm voting for the person. So if he's in PDP, I'll vote him there. If he's in Labour Party, I'll vote him there. So quite a lot of people came out. You need to understand, my brother, what we're talking about is no longer about party. This is the consciousness that we had to have. And that we must make sure that we keep alive in the hearts of people. This is never should be made about any political party. Yes, it never should be. It should always and always remain about the personality and the ideology of the personality that we are following and believing. And that is the personality of P2B. Thank you.
But we've actually fraternized with the Labour Party. Peter Obi is a member of the Labour Party. And most Obedients are now in the Labour Party. Looking at 2027, do you think this is going to be a good move? Because if we have members in other political parties, my next question is going to be, related to these. I just want you to quickly look at this before we move to the next question. We have members in all political parties, like you said, but most of us have now registered with the Labour Party because Peter Obi is in the Labour Party. Now, in 2027, how do you think this arrangement will not affect Peter Obi's chances of running for president in 2027? If eventually, should he leave the Labour Party, most people are going to remain Labour Party. The Labour Party is going to have a candidate for presidency. Now, consolidating our efforts, don't you think this is not a good thing? We're supposed to have, most people believe we're supposed to have a political party where we actually work towards 2027. Every Obidient is in that party, like the Labour Party, for instance. And then so that by 2027, we'll be able to consolidate and put ourselves together in that party to vote our candidate. Are we still hoping on the Obidient who are not with us in Labour Party, who are in the other political party, to win our elections in 2027?
Okay. I'll answer that question beginning with one question of mine, and you don't need to answer. It's just for me, for asking sake. I'll ask you something. Between the time or before the time that P2B crossed over to Labour Party, where was Labour Party? No answer. No answer necessary. I'm saying that to answer your question and also letting you know that the Labour Party that you are, as you know it today, for example, I was never a member of Labour Party before P2B came. I was in PDP. In the real sense of it, like, if I'm asked what political party do you support or believe in or have been, voting under, I had been voting under the under the PDP. And if you want to know, I was one who championed in Imo State when this as far as I'm concerned, the injustice was done P2B in PDP. Not just P2B, was done the Igbo nation in PDP. I was one of the people who championed who clamored vehemently and loudly too for P2B to quit PDP. And as at the time we were quitting, we didn't care where we were going. We wanted him to just take any party in obscurity. And we assured him that we were going to make that party popular because we were all going to empty into that party. And so that was what gave life to Labour Party. I'm not saying this with any prejudice. I'm a member of Labour Party. I'm even a secretary and official in my state. So I'm simply letting you know that despite even that position that I hold in the party in the state level, I will not underestimate or I will not devalue the weight of the Obidient movement just because of party affiliation, especially if the party or whatever party in question brings any kind of aspersions, generates any kind of controversy that undermines the quality of the Obidient movement. If that happens, we'll draw a line and we'll tell them, no, this is not what we stand for. So Obidient movement is stronger, is a wave. The only reason why we do not have a party called Obidient movement is because there is not registered yet. So let's not always bring in this sentiment of Obidient movement and Labour Party at this stage, because a lot of other people voted for P2B who were not members and still are not members of Labour Party. And they don't need to be members of Labour Party to vote for any individual. And this is what good governance is all about. I need to go ahead of you on this one. I am a member of COPDEM. I'm being interviewed here as the chairman of COPDEM in Imo State. And that's a paradigm shift. All right? Because what we're now talking about with COPDEM is simple. We have chairmen in COPDEM who are not members of Labour Party, but they're obedient people. And COPDEM is simply after the protection of our democracy. So are we now going to say people who are obedient in PDP and saw a PDP presidential candidate and said, no, I believe in P2B, even though I'm a member of PDP, I'm going to vote for P2B, and actually campaigned very vigorously for P2B and voted for him. And then you say, oh, you're not a member of our party. We don't need you. That's anti-progressive. What we want is to understand the spirit of obedience. They are on the street. They are in the marketplaces. They are the downtrodden. They're the ones who have said, you see, we have had enough. We are angry enough to demand difference and change and actually work for it. So anybody who has that mindset, for me, whether he's in XYZ party, is in whatever party, I don't care. He is my friend because we share the same ideology. We believe in the same thing. We are working towards the same goal, changing Nigeria. That should be important to everybody, not party. This is this partisan thing that's kept us where we've been. I will not forget, because I was at the forefront of this battle. I know a lot of people who were not members of Labour Party who worked with me, who supported P2B. So I'm going to keep saying this to you, my brother, for as long or however long it takes for me to be able to make my point to drive my point home in this, I'll make it so. Please, let's not limit ourselves to parties. Right now, should P2B remain in Labour Party? I don't know. I've already said before, if Labour Party know what is good for them, me, myself inclusive, because the dance that they are dancing at the market square is not good. It's in a very long, wide parallel lines with what P2B stands for and represents. And we know that clearly, and this is not why I'm here, though. But whether or not he remains in the party depends on what they do. But we're not going to be waiting for anybody. Our umbilical cord as Obidient movement is not tied to any party. This is me saying it on online television, and I know I'm being recorded, so I'm letting you know. P2B's remaining in Labour Party is neither here nor there. It's going to be a question of what Labour Party is able to do with their internal, with what's going on now. We set our house in order. We have a good product, which we can sell. But the process that we will use to sell that good product, as our principal always says, has also to be excellent. So if we don't want to sell an excellent product, who carries good product and packages it wrongly? So that's my point. Whether or not he remains in Labour Party depends on what the outcome of what's going on with Labour Party is. Should he leave? If there's no other way that we can get it right, and it's only about leaving Labour Party, my brother, I will be the first person to clamor. That's how we left PDP to get to Labour Party. So if Labour Party want to behave like PDP, we leave Labour Party and go to another party. Simple, because we need to have a party to go. And if we can't find and we can register our own party, by all means, why not? Why not? Well, we can babysit the party, put the right people, round pegs and round holes, square pegs and square holes, put the right people to get it right. We can do that. So all we need to do as we are is just keep up with what we're doing, like you're doing here. Make sure we keep the consciousness alive. Make sure we keep the dream. We don't lose hope. We don't lose sight of what we have. Put our eyes on the ball. And then secondary issues like political party, they will see when they see that the movement is alive. Every party wants this movement to empty into them. That's it. As far as we get our goal, we get to our goal, we are good. Obedient movements, we are good. We're not hoping on anybody who's not ready to work with us in the set order. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you, my
dear. Done extensive work on that. Looking at 2027, which is just around the corner, what consolidation plans are ongoing? The people want to know if at all there are plans or there are consolidations ongoing that we're not aware of. If there are, what are they? If there are none, are there plans for consolidation? Reconciling aggrieved members of the movement, consolidating the efforts of the movement, those activities people want to know. Is there any you can tell us about?
Okay, the word you use, consolidation, is very, very broad. So I'll try and narrow it down a little bit as much as I can. And I honestly want to ask that you please not be if I drift a little bit away from what's perhaps the substance for which you asked that question. When you say consolidation, first of all, we must identify what we are consolidating. Everything I've been talking about so far, it's also bordering on consolidation, right? And if you want to know, a lot of that has been going on, right from after the presidential election. A lot of that has been going on. It's been going on with the people who never lost sight of what this is all about, like I told you. You have COPDEM. I keep referring to COPDEM because I know we can use COPDEM as an example because I'm there firsthand. A lot of consolidation, a lot of individuals who spent money, who did not spend to be recognized on television, national televisions, or they have their names printed on the pages of national and international newspapers. They're simply spending their hard-earned money, both those here in Nigeria and in the diaspora. They're still spending. We just concluded our national convention, our very first national convention, and I mean COPDEM. We had our BOT members, individuals. Our state chairman paid their way from different states to come to Abuja for this convention. Nobody gave us. So we're still consolidating. We're building. Those who had the right mindset from the beginning are still building. They're not tired. They're not discouraged. They're like, okay, we know where we're dealing, we know what happened, and we know how to get it right. And if we keep going the way we are going, consolidation is a process. It's not something you wake up one day and say, okay, we're consolidated now. It's progressive, stage by stage, time from time, and time to time, different areas we do. Our principal is doing a lot. He's doing a lot. If you even want to just look at what he is doing, if you've been following his movements and his body language and all the things he's been doing, you understand that he's doing a lot on his own. Without even looking at anybody, what anybody is doing, in those who are in government now, or what, he's doing his thing. We are doing, those of us who understand that and are running with that, are doing our own thing too. Consolidating on what? On the achievements that we had. Consolidating on the contacts, on the things we set in place. Consolidating without looking away from looking to the distractions that are bound through party politics. So we are definitely consolidating, but there are gray areas. Of course, I'm not going to keep saying sounding like everything is perfect. One of those gray areas is INEC, because we know a lot of what we suffered came from INEC. So I'm thinking that by now we should have some strategic clamoring, very, very, institutionalized, if you understand what I mean, to try call INEC out. That's one area we need to do something about. We need to call, otherwise nothing will really change in 2027. Nothing. If we do not call for change, overhaul of INEC, because INEC was our problem. Our problem was not that we did not vote. Our problem was not that we did not stand to defend us. Some of us stayed in the polling units, we were beaten, we were flogged, we said we're not going anywhere. But INEC still did what they did. Their glitch still happened. So whatever was responsible for that glitch, we need to fix so that there won't be any more glitches. So in that area, we still need consolidation. So strategically, there are quite a lot to be done. We'll continue, like I said, it's a continuous process. So as far as 2027 is concerned, can we get it right? Why not? Who said we didn't get it right the last time, even without so-called structure? We didn't have formations. A lot of people were coming in isolation to come, but now we have formations. We have lineups. So we have everything we require to convincingly, one more time, convincingly win the election. But this time around, we'll make it so clear and glaring that even when their glitch wants to happen, it will be impossible to happen. They will not be able to steal this one. So with that area, we must consolidate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. The area of finance, a lot of free will donations that were made toward this purpose didn't get to be used for what it was meant or what it was donated for. So many funds got missing along the way. We later get to hear about people saying I donated so amount to this cause, and it was not accounted for. So we've been able to look at that area to, block such loopholes where people will have to give out funds for this purpose, and then somebody will just receive them and sit on them without accountability.
You know what happens when you have strange bedfellows? When you bring good water and join with bad water, it depends on the quantity of either. You will not have pure good water, neither will you have pure bad water anymore. You see, in the past election, in the financial aspect of it, that was what happened. We had good water, then we had plenty bad water. Then the good water was mixing with the bad water, but the bad water kept overpowering the good water. And what am I saying with that? It takes me back to the issue of structure of the party that we used. There are a lot of things I would have loved to say, but I'll probably be a little bit held back for some reasons, so that it doesn't look like I'm here to, I'm here to speak against anybody or, undermine the party. But I would like to talk about individuals instead of the party. Labour Party as it is, or as it was, had a lot of bad eggs. We had people in Labour Party who were officials of the party who openly fought against us. And by us, I mean the Obedience, who openly contended with us. The left issues, it was never about the issues. They didn't care about what we were after. They just wanted what was coming, and that's the money thing you were talking about. So it was politics of money for them. To mitigate that, what some of us did was use our money. So because they had the apparatus of that office to fight us, incidentally, there was not a lot we could do. So they are the ones who would have to, the bad water would have to know what to do. We left after the good water got poured into the bad water, we couldn't separate the good water again. All we needed to do is just, abandon that water, because there's nothing that will make us, throw ourselves into the dirty water anyways. So abandon the water and just go fetch water again and get the work done. So that's what we had to do in this last election. So I don't want to go into it as to funds were raised. They're still fighting about funds in the Labour Party at the national level. You can see that there's a lot of dirty fight going on. It didn't just happen at the national level. It happened at the state, at the local government, at the wards. A lot of rot. So it was a good thing that people were not really after the money. People were after doing the right thing. A lot of people were not after the money. Because if it was about the money, my brother, we wouldn't probably have gone far. Imagine without the money, we went as far as we did. People spent their money. People use their money to cook food, to keep people at the polling units to stay. People use their money to rent canopies to keep people. People use their money to do quite a lot of things. Those who pocketed the money pocketed their own destiny. So whatever they need to do, they may do if they like, but we have learned our lessons. We know what not to do again. right? So the same, there's a proverb in my place that says the same stick does not remove somebody's eye the second time. So, or does not, pierce you the second time if you're smart. So if you've gone through a particular path or a road and a particular tree, is protuberant somewhere and it pricked you, permit me to use the word, or it pierced you somewhere like that, and you're going back the second time and you've forgotten that thing happened to you the second day, you're a fool. You understand what they say about the first person is the first time is a fool, or is the second time is proper, or whatever they say, I don't know, I've forgotten how they put that thing together. If you're the first time, you could be forgiven, you're foolish. Now the second time person will fall victim, that's a proper foolish person. So it happened once. They outwitted us in a lot of ways, right? There's a second chance coming in 2027, and I'll show you. Once bitten, twice shy. It won't happen again. Not on our watch. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. If you were to put out a message for 2027, what would the message be?
2027, guide your loins. 2027, gird your loins. Get up, right your wrongs. Because I had my own wrongs. 2027, gird your loins. Get up, right your wrongs. I'm ready, and that's the message. 2027 is coming. Don't wait for 2027. 2027 is today, my brother. 2027 is now. We're not supposed to go and wait. 2027 will now start coming to. No. This is it. Let's get our loins. Then get out and go and right our wrongs. That's it. That's my message. Nobody should give up. Nobody should lose hope. Nobody should lose faith. That's what it is. If you snooze, you lose. There's no room for snoozing. We're not going to sleep. Let's not wait until 2026 to start preparing. Let's start plugging the holes. Let's start talking to people. Let's start that door to door now. Good thing, there's even enough to campaign. My own campaign has started. Because I asked some people, those who are fighting me at the polling unit, some of them are calling me now for money. When they come here, I'll say, hey, I thought you were going to be buying your own rice cheaper than mine. I thought you had a place, another bakery that makes your own bread. Because when I was talking about this, you said, no, you were calling me names. Now you're asking me for 5,000 naira. Really? I thought it's your government that is in power. So you see, we have enough to campaign with now. This is the time. Those people that were collecting 3,000, that they lined up to take 2,000 and 3,000 to sell, mortgage their future. This is the time to remind them there's another opportunity coming in 2027. I help them all. I help them when I can. I'll just say, you know what, I'm giving you this out of the goodness of my heart. But then I'm giving you what you should have never had to even collect from me if you would have done the right thing in this past election. By now, you will be begging for food. And it's not even getting any better. I keep letting them know. So prepare to correct it. You have opportunity come 2027 to correct it. But you start now. Tell your children, tell your own neighbors, tell everybody, I beg, I made mistake. Some of them are saying that they're even going to start rioting very soon. They're going to start saying, they're going to come out and say, I'm taking back all I said. This was a wrong choice. Encourage them to come and say it is campaign. We have started our campaign. So that's what it is. Let's use the situation, capitalize on it, and get the message out there. People should stay conscious. People should stay ready and make sure that those people who fought us at the polling unit, that you go and see them, knock on their door. Bros, how far? Sis, how far? Is he there together for you? Are you okay? When they say answer you, then you start to talk to them about 2027. So all I'm saying is, let's not lose the anger. In fact, the anger should be more now. Not that we're going to slap anybody on the road, but we're not going to agree for anybody. This time around, we're not going to agree. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have the election 2024 around the corner. What is your assessment of the impact of the movement?
I'm sorry. You're talking about the EDO election. Yes, please let me hear the last part of your question.
Your assessment of the impact of the movement on Edo election 2024?
I think the movement is as cold or divided as the Edo State election itself. Because just like we said when we started, if you were to judge by where our principle is, we should be looking at Labour Party in it. We should be looking at consolidating and supporting Labour Party in Edo State. But quite frankly, I don't even know. I don't want to say something because the election is still ahead, so I don't want to demarket anybody or any party. As much as I'm not a major player in Edo election, we're still looking for who to support in that election, who meets. And if I'm saying that, it simply means that you understand that I'm not looking at any party right now. I am not. So, but I know something about Edo people, and Edo people has quite a great number of obedience. So, and I have some of them as friends, and we've been trying to put our heads together, discuss what's to happen, because of course we have the apparatus of support. COPDEM, we have a very strong this thing of COPDEM, body of COPDEM, and POSN, and WPO, TBN, all the other support groups. There are quite a number of them, strong in Edo State. So the Obidient movement has got a stake in Edo State. But where we want to put that stake, align that stake or align with, is what I don't honestly know at this point, and that's dangerous. So my assessment of the Edo election is tricky, quite tricky. The only consolation there may be in this is that Edo people are quite politically aware. There's a saying that they say, Edo no be Lagos, so Edo no be Imo. Like they told my governor when he came to do Pasmaga in Edo, Edo no be Imo. So I'm expecting surprises, but I'm also expecting the Edo people to make a decision and take a stance, because once they do, we'll come in with our support. And by that, I mean our obedient, brethren, our supporters, our friends, our colleagues, our comrades in the Obidient family in Edo. We're waiting on you. We're waiting on them. Take a stand. And then we come in with our own support, because we are not going to decide for you, really. It's tricky. That's why I said it's tricky. If I have to say, I'll tell you, I don't know. So they are going to have to decide, and we're going to have to follow. But if you want to judge my personal opinion, assessment, it's simple that the pendulum is still swinging. It's still swinging all over the place. So I don't know. I'm hoping that within the shortest possible. I mean, when the election is in September, by the corner. So Obidient movement in Edo need to do a fine job of screening. And I don't think they should do it based on party. I think they should, throw away party sentiment if they want to get Edo right, because a lot of things have gone wrong in Labour Party. A lot of things have gone wrong in the PDP, in the major key players. PDP, APC, Labour Party, a lot of things have gone wrong in Edo. So if they want to get it right, I think they should jettison this party. I belong to this party or that party. Look for, even if it's a party in obscurity, even if there's an individual somewhere that you recognize that will do well, that in fact move away from all these rascals, then identify that person and come together and support that person. And let's at least start getting it right from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. I will give room to Dr. Marshall to ask you a question. He's been raising up his hand since, so I'll be taking questions from now. Just let each person read out their questions and you respond. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, my Honorable Lady Flick.
Good evening, sir.
God bless you. After our meeting at the convention, I actually needed to get to you, out of your wit, seeing and knowing fully well you are capable, and so far, you've met your your ground, your stand in this aspect. Like you were saying, Edo needed to do a lot of things, but I want to go to areas where we'll be looking at party affiliations. My first questions, I'll start from the last one, which is, how significant is the choice of political party for Peter Obi's 2027 presidential aspirations? And what factors should influence his decision to align with a particular party to maximize his chances of electoral success and effective governance? That's one. The other one was about consolidation and good governance. Really, like before now, the governor of Edo State made some statements which were not too comfortable with all of us who are on the sideline, observing. When they asked him, or he was rather being skeptical or afraid then about the Obidient movement. And he said they should not worry, the Obidient movement will die away naturally. Now, to your own assessment, like you have said, what specific strategies should the Obidient movement adopt to ensure its efforts lead to tangible improvements in governance? And how can they maintain momentum and public support leading up to 2027? And worst of all, to the September election of Edo State? Thank you.
All right. I'll start from the last, because the last has a lot to do with the first.
Very
so
much.
if I answer the last, the first will almost be answered. You could even see that it's answered.
Yes.
You see, people talk. And I want you to know that a whole lot of people who spoke and said a lot of things about the Obidient movement, who are still speaking, a lot of them do it out of fear and trepidation. They do it out of concern. They just say those things to encourage themselves. Behind the whole, when they go behind, they look for ways to come appealing to the Obidient. I'm a living testimony. I'm a living proof or witness to this thing I'm telling you. In the state where I come from, when it was our turn for the election, our own governor will come out and talk, Obidient, who is obedient? We're obedient. Our own governor said he's obedient to APC. When the time came, he started looking for us all over the place. I got called into several meetings where we are being pleaded to. So I say, please support the governor. At least let him do his 2 terms. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yet these were people who will come online and go on national television and beat their chest and be, my dear, what you already have belongs to you.
Yes.
My people also have a proverb, an adage that says, if you see corn that is ripe for eating, if you're mature, you will know the corn is ripe. When you go and start pinching, trying to open it to look, now hunger the causer. Yes. So I'm letting you know that who said that, the Obidient movement will never die off.
Yes.
It will never die off. Anybody who is expecting, who still thinks that the Obidient movement will die off, is going to wait and grow old. Because it's God's arm. It's God's arm. It's God's threshing instrument to beat mountains of democratic nonsense small. So let me tell you that person who told you the Obidient movement will just fizzle out said that out of fear. They already know that they cannot even win in a free and fair election. He might not get up to 100 votes. Courtesy of the same Obidient movement that they say will fizzle out. We've heard worse things about us, so let's not even dwell on that one. Specific strategy to maintain momentum. Very good question. This is for you and I, my brother. Because Obidient movement is made up of people. People who are angry enough and resolute enough. Who are saying, listen, we want to change the order. And we can stand from no matter where it is. In obscurity, we will stand and start. So to maintain that momentum, remember that's how we started this. We will go on buses. We will talk. I know how many Uber drivers will carry me and be preaching Obidient to me. only to find out I'm also obedient. So to maintain momentum, it's very easy. It's not costing us money. We don't have to maintain momentum by going on national television. It's good. That can be done, sponsored by anybody. It's fine. But to maintain this momentum is the easiest thing to do. And as long as we keep the momentum going, we'll keep the award mounting. A lot of them will suffer panic attack and die before the election because of the momentum that we're maintaining. So I said, how do we maintain the momentum? Do the little things. Continue to do the very, very little things. Word of mouth. Still talk about the movement. Still keep the election of 2023 and all the inconsistencies fresh in the minds of people. Still talk about the needs to stop the suffering of the masses. Still talk about it to your children, your teacher, in their school. Let's still talk about it in the streets. When we finish church service or mosque prayers, let's still keep it going. That's how we started. That's how we built this movement. Let's still talk about it on our pages on Facebook, on all our Instagram profiles. We maintain the momentum like that. If you hashtag and talk about something that has to do, it's still on my mind. We keep talking about it. That's how we maintain our own. We're not the ones that will go to always go to TV stations to go and talk about it. Maintain the momentum is the simplest thing we can do. What we are doing right here is maintaining the momentum. So I congratulate COPDEM for taking this initiative. I'm talking about it today. It's a weekly program, I know. Next week, somebody else is going to be talking. A lot of people will key in to watch. That's how to keep the momentum going. Let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. Let's keep doing. Let's not bow down. Let's not bow out. So for me, that comes to what you talked about, P2B. What is the significance of what significance is party to his 2027 aspiration? Simple thing. There's a constitution that says you have to run under the party. So that is the significance of a party. So he needs a party. We understand that one is a given. Now, what party it is going to be? Right now, he still says, our principal says, I'm still in Labour Party. By the grace of God, he will remain in Labour Party. Because Labour Party, I believe, will get it right. I pray. But my brother, should Labour Party fail to get it right, that is where our maintaining the momentum, like I said, I will answer that one first. That is where our maintaining the momentum comes to play. If Labour Party does not work, and you and I have been working, keeping our Obidient Party, and now that's a party. Remember, Obidient Movement is a party, even though we are not registered. Because if we carry Obidient Movement and support one person whose party is not even known, AAA, or even Zenith Labour Party, or one thing that is not known, Obidient Movement will support you and you win election. So we will decide at that point when it's necessary what to do. And by that, it's only stated that it has to be through through a political party. We're not going to be worrying ourselves with something that we don't have control over. We don't have control over what Labour Party does right now, or any other party does right now, but we have control over what we do with our movement. So let's keep up with our own side of the bargain and watch as things turn. We cannot lose out, or we can never be disadvantaged in this business as long as we keep the momentum going. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finally, the only thing I want to say concerning EDO is now the way the whole issue is going about candidates and the party, EDO is a bit peculiar.
Yeah.
Inside the whole aspirants or candidates, none is an independent candidate.
Exactly.
Now, we are looking at a situation or a scenario where how it will look, because the time is very minimal. Yes. How the people dance or, let the pendulum flow to their side where they will now accept an independent candidate. That will be a bit difficult for them because of the time frame. That is because everybody has actually queued into that movement, that obedient movement, Labour Party, because even in the APC and the PDP, they're not too sure about anything. Now, Labour Party has gone through its primaries. The question is, do you think the obedient movement are satisfied with what has happened in the primaries till now?
Oh my goodness. All right. So when the head is sick, the whole body is sick. Quite frankly, that's the truth. When the head is sick, the whole body is sick. So that answers the question. There's no way I will answer truthfully, and I won't lie. I without saying the facts. If I want to be truthful, I will tell you straight up. There's no happiness with the outcome of what happened in Edo State. It's very easy to see. So, and it's a problem. That is why I said when I was talking about it earlier, I was saying something about we are going to depend on the obedience in Edo State. They're going to have to take a quick decision. Sometimes it's going to be a decision like you're going to be deciding to go between the rock and the hard place, or between the devil and the deep blue sea. Yeah. So, but they need to make a decision because either way, we're not going to just fold our arms. At this point, you have to identify a lesser evil, so to speak, and if possible, cut some deals. And I'm not saying these deals in the negative way in terms of, oh, make arrangements to get money. No, let them get some commitments. Let's see if we can get some commitments from anybody who we can try to look at his pedigree or her pedigree. Perhaps there's a female, I don't know. Anybody whose pedigree we can consider personal merit. But if you want to look at the process by which the persons in labor, and I say persons because I know there are multiple candidates, just like we had in my state, from one month's I don't know what, carelessness. So now you look at them, but then there's also the aspect of the law. There's also the aspect of the law, because you could go ahead and back the wrong tree out of sentiments. What if you decide, okay, this person is a one that he's good, he's a sweet person, and then the law, he doesn't have the apparatus of the law behind him. The other person goes to court, you do all your effort, it goes and gets a nullification of that election, and you lose. So it's tricky. There's a lot to consider. And I'm saying that to say, you do not have to support Labour Party because it's Labour Party. Neither do you have to support PDP or APC because in Edo, that's what it's down to. It's down to individual. So you're going to vote for that individual in whatever party he is. But first, like I said, it's going to be a case of making sure that the votes won't be wasted at the end of the day. I'm not going to vote for a Labour Party candidate who emerged through a process that is skewed just because it's a Labour Party. So Obidient movement must make sure that we are playing the politics of it, because that is robbing us of a lot of chances. I will tell you why I said that. There are a lot of people that we voted in so-called, they were obedient because they had Labour Party ticket. But they're not doing anything for Labour Party in the state. They just got there because last minute they just got the ticket and they're there. They rode on the wave of the obedient movement for P2B and they are elected. And today they just turned their back on the movement and everybody else. It's me, myself, and I for them. So, but I have seen people who supported P2B from their own party. So this idea, sometimes they say, oh, if P2B does not have people in the House of Assembly and in the Senate, they could impeach him. I see a P2B that can sit in the presidency and sit comfortably and rule or govern Nigeria, so to speak, preside over Nigeria comfortably, conveniently, with even his party being in the minority at both arms of legislative. That's what I mean. Until we get to that point where you're not afraid that you've been impeached, because you know that the people who are even your opposition and who emerge in other parties see the value you bring. And they will say no to any motion from anywhere for you to be impeached. Then until we get there, then we don't understand how this politics should be for Nigeria as it is. We will get there eventually. So Edo election, please let us sit down. And the time is now, like you said, there's no independent candidacy. So we must vote through a party. Let's not look at the party now. Let's look at the individuals who are out. There's Accord, there's PDP, APC, ACN, all the parties there are, Labour Party. Check the candidates. You know them, we don't know them, we're outside. If you call us and say we're supporting XYZ candidate for these reasons, we've checked all the indices, we've checked all the pros and we've weighed all the cons and all that. We believe that this time this is who should go. And I am saying that to let you know that obedient movement Forget about what the governor or anybody there is saying. They're only panicking. If Obidient movement would identify one person in a Edo election today and say this is the person, that person will be the next governor of Edo State. I'm that confident about the Obidient movement in Edo State. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Amen. Bless you too, sir. Do we have any more questions?
Moderator, the floor is open.
I hope we have not lost the moderator. I have a question for Lady Slick, please.
Yes. I think I can't see Ms. Brown here any longer. Perhaps network. But okay, I was just going to ask Ambassador Lilliane, in all, moving away from Edo election though, in all that we have discussed today, good governance is the uppermost in the mind of the obedient, and a very major factor that seems to be limiting against this good governance is free and fair elections. That is the underlying factor. So how do you think we'll be able to achieve free and fair elections? Because if we're able to achieve elections, then the voice of the ODM movement will actually win the day anytime in any elections. So what do we do to achieve free elections in this country?
I didn't get your name, sir. Sorry.
Sorry, my name is Egbe Monifo.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. Well, I think we talked about that free and fair election thing. There's no free and fair election in Nigeria with the INEC that we have it as it is today. So the first answer is clamoring for the overhauling of INEC. Answer number one. Answer number two, clamoring for the overhauling of INEC. Number two, clamoring for the overhauling of INEC. There is no overstating it. If we're going to get it right and have free and fair election, let's start with the INEC, the constitution of INEC, how it's constituted, how it's wired, how it's set up now. INEC as it is set up to rig elections. So what we should be talking about, and I think we all know this, so I'm not saying anything new. What should we be talking about is what are we going to do differently to get and to make sure that INEC does not, because this last time, listen, every promise they made, they broke. Oh, we're going to transmit results real time from the polling units. And nothing, there was no catch, no checks, no balances, nothing happened when they failed to do it. So the first is INEC, the second is INEC, and the third is INEC. If we still have the same thing with INEC, it's good that we're doing all that we're doing, but in our doing, the Bible says, in get all this, get that, in all you're getting, get understanding. You see this INEC issue, we must find a way to get around it. And that's where we have big wigs in the movement coming together. Find any legislative powers we can leverage on, any openings we can come in through, anything we can do whatsoever legally to tame INEC. And we do it, the time to do it is now. Otherwise, even the Edo election is at risk. So let's know that without any check, without any laid out plan as to how to hold and tame INEC. A lot of what we're saying is English. We all know we won this last election. We won it all. So INEC, and then we're coming back to the courts, because that one I don't even want to start. To the judiciary, which used to be, and I choose my word correctly, which used to be the last hope of the common man. So those two bodies, they are cousins, first cousins. We must know what we're going to do about those two. So that's it. Thank you, my brother.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador Lilliane. Thank you very much for that response. I will allow Mr. Martins Egbe to ask his question.
Thank you, Moderator, Ambassador Lilliane, Slick. It has been a pleasure listening to you both at the just concluded conference and today.
Thank you, sir.
And I think I'm beginning to count you as one of those Nigerians that I respect, because I'm someone who generalizes a lot and say Nigerians are a bunch of idiots. And they will tell me, why do you do that? No, they are good Nigerians. I say, okay, let's start counting. Then I count to 15,000, and I tell them, okay, 15,000 out of 250 million is nothing. So, with due respect, I have been obedient because of P2B, because he was the only person that I have researched in that country until today that I'm appointing you as one of him.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, sir.
Nothing under his belt. I'm not saying he's an angel.
Yeah.
But when I give P2B 70%, I don't even give the other ones 10%. So if Nigeria is going to be rescued, it's that man that is going to start the revolution.
Yes.
So you just made a couple of points listening to you today. Let me start from the last one. I have always slept and wondered why Atiku and His Excellency P2B are not clamoring to remove Yakubu Mohammed from that seat.
Yes.
Because if Yakubu Mohammed is on that seat, 2027, forget that election.
Yes.
If Tinubu can do what he did in 2023 when he wasn't president, imagine what he can do now.
Yeah.
That is one point. Then the conference speaker that I paid my attention to when you were speaking, because that is what all my life is based on. Accountability, checks and balances, and integrity.
Yeah.
If you have all those things, you are done. You cover every basis. Nigerians hate to be accountable. I'm sorry to say that. Even in the United States, where we are, you call your village meeting, you contribute money. At the end of the year, you ask them, how much do we have? Are you accusing me of stealing? Nobody has accused you of stealing. We just ask you to be accountable to the money we gave to you to hold.
Right.
And Nigerians hate that. And until we start getting that right, it's going to be a problem. So that brings me to why I'm really talking this to you today. As a COPDEM BOT, I have suggested, and I believe our national chairman, Mr. Rampan, has put up a blueprint. And I'm putting that blueprint to test in the Delta North chairmanship election. That we have a set of matters that concerns your constituent, and we are going to collect signatories from every eligible voter who is going to vote for you. And you will sign also that document. That if in the 6 months you say you're going to tie this road and you don't tie it, we take that document to court and remove you. So what I'm asking you, is it a possibility in the Nigerian judicial system for that to happen? Or can they sign that document and then they go to court and they say they can throw it off into the air? So those are just my major concerns. But for accountability, if you stick to it in that country, everybody will be fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Thank you. First, I appreciate the recommendations and the appreciation, sir. Thank you very much. And it's very nice to know that you're one of the revered COPDEM BOT members and who have been very magnanimous in their contributions and their giving. And you've made a lot of things possible for us in COPDEM. And for that, we are grateful eternally and continue to pray that God will, multiply all your seeds sown and given and make you great indeed, because it shows even though you're out of the country, you still have the good of this land in your heart. You still have the desire to want Nigeria to be better. So we thank you and appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
This whole issue of accountability, I'm glad you said what you said, because that's where it starts and that's where it possibly even ends. Because accountability in Nigeria is almost something that if you raise it, you look like you're suspecting. You already said it. You look like why are you telling me to be accountable? Nigerians look at you askance when you're talking about accountability. So If at the time where we are getting to the point where we can look people in the face and say, let's come have a deal. We have the people to vote you. We as a people, as a movement, we want to look at you as an option we can use or we can depend on. But please, we've been beaten and trampled on so many times. So we want you to give us your word, because that's the best you can get out of those people, because there's nothing you can use to remove them. Even when they sign anything for you, they get there, they don't do it. There's really nothing you can do about it, right? But what you can do about it is an option. If, for example, they are representatives, by that I mean House of Rep, House of Assembly, Senate, all those people that you can recall. Recall is an option that we've never looked at, but that's because the people have never come together. Because in the midst of the people, you will still find a few, what am I going to call them, that will still fight you, who is demanding accountability. Just because that person has isolated a few of them and given them peanuts, they will come and fight you. Even some of them go to the extent of eliminating their fellow sufferers when it comes to the issue of accountability. So you'll still find that what we have not been able to use is that which the law has already made available for us to use, which is the power of the option of recalling them. So if, for example, we're sending you here and we're united in sending you, this is what because they come bearing all those promises already. They come, I will fire this place and water this place, and I will build bridge on top of palm tree for you people. You tell them, please, we know that those ones are not doable. Let us tell you the ones that we think are doable. And you have an understanding and social contract. You write it and say, this is what we are going to do for us. This is what you want. Are you agreeable? Is that okay by you? You say, yes, okay. We're holding you to your word. We, the people, are holding you to your word. If you fail to do this for us, we might not be able to come to court and remove you, but we'll promise you we'll come for your recall. You can do that one. And until we do it, you see, until we start using the options, the ones that are even available to us, let's not look too far. There's so many tools that are available to us, apart from the fact that we have the power to not send them the next time. Because it's only 4 years. So it shall be this 4 years now, 2023. This 2024 that is almost ending. It's no longer 4 years. Oh. Yeah, and by the time it's 2025, they're already preparing for the election again. So they'll come back with the lies. So the first thing that we need to get right is our mentality, sir. So accountability also starts with us. That's if you listen to that this thing that we talked about. I like accountability that starts with the individual. Until we can hold ourselves accountable, we can't hold nobody else accountable. And a lot of the problems we have is because we can't even hold ourselves accountable. We can't. Individually, holding myself accountable. So it starts from there. If I say we agree to do something and one person runs renegade and doesn't do it, we stand in our unified position to say, we didn't agree to do this thing like this. Why did you do it like this? Not that the person will turn back and give me 2 naira and I'll turn and go and look for other 2 people to convince them. So the good people become the bad people and we who are bad become good. That's accountability. So we need to start looking at the right places and use the right tools available to us. So this person that you're talking about, this trial thing you want to do is good. And if they get to sign a social contract with the people, it's even better. If it's someone that obeys, goes by doing it, good. But if he doesn't, we look at the laws and provisions that we can use to fight it, because we should not be docile. We should not do anything about it. No matter how feeble, let's do something. By the time we do something and we don't get at them by trying, they know that at least we have the presence of mind. We have the mindset. We have gone away from that state of inertia where we don't do anything. We are ready to do something, no matter how little. That's when they will start sitting up. It's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen in one day. If we succeed to recall somebody one day, we'll succeed in recall. And then some people see that, oh, it's even possible to recall somebody. Another set of people from another place will recall another person. They will sit up. So accountability will start happening by force.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then just as a follow-up, please, are you a legal practitioner or not? Because Mr. Rampan has put a documentation together about this same issue we are talking about, but we have not had time to deliberate on it as a BOT to know which way that we are going to go with it.
Okay, sir. I am a law graduate. I'm a law graduate, and even though in equity recognizes an intention to fulfill an obligation and considers done that which ought to be done.
You're
I
a
still will
liar,
not
madam.
call my... Excuse me?
You're a liar, madam.
No, I'm not. That's why I said I'm a law graduate. So, incidentally, in Nigeria, to be called a barrister at law, you can have an LLB and not have the honors. Incidentally, in Nigeria, to be called a lawyer, you have to have been called to bar. And that's something that I've not been even encouraged to do for many years. And the more I see things happening in the arm of where I'm supposed to be practicing, the more I'm not encouraged to even go. So I am a law graduate who is not interested in being called to the Nigerian bar. At the moment, though, things can change. Maybe when P2B becomes president, I might decide to go to the law school eventually.
Yeah, because we might need your help as the BOT to help us, at least direct us to the legal aspects of this recall, because that's a very powerful tool. Because
yes.
the model I'm trying to build in Delta North local government is, as you are talking to the card-carrying members of the society of your constituent, you have all these 8 points agenda we have given to him.
Yes.
Look at your schools, your markets, the erosion control, medical system, accountability, community development committee that will help you run the state, accountability of how much money you're getting and how you are spending it. They are all spelled out. And as they are collecting the signatures, another aspect is you can help us find out how many signatories do you need to recall both the president, the Senate, House of Rep, local government chairman, the state governor, and the rest of them. So we have it handy. If we are able to raise that amount of signatures, they already know. We have the signatures to recall you, and now you are signing it with us. So please do the right thing, or we'll elect you the next time. Simple.
Absolutely. We should start, like I said, we should start catching them, We should start, since the birds have learned since the hunters have learned to shoot without missing. The birds are flying without perching. So we should actually start exhausting to try to use our options. There are quite a number of options available to us. We can discuss that off camera much later, but we can actually start reviving those options. In fact, in Nigeria, there are lots that are just dormant. Some of them, when I even read them, I'm like, what? This is provided for. So, and there are also ones that we don't even know that there are laws until you contravene them. So they're just there. It doesn't mean that they're not in effect or they're not being used. It does not mean that they're not there. And it doesn't make them less effective or less terrible or useful. They can actually be called up on you anytime, So we have that too in our advantage as well. There are so many provisions by the Constitution and by the law that we can use. You understand? We can use them. So we should stop complaining a little bit and start using them more. If we use it and it gets a little bit traction, it gets some traction, we use it next time, they too will become aware that the people can do this. And there are quite a number of them. The people are not left helpless like that. It's just that we don't try. We don't even want to even go there. Waiting concern me, maybe they do their thing. That's what it's been for us. So now that we are getting more conscious and we are getting, every day we are getting more, we are agitated, we are irritated every day, more and more, So a lot of us are becoming more conscious. Like you are saying, I'll be so happy to work with the BOT. Let's look at all the laws. We can even flash it at them when they are going. You see this provision, We will not hesitate to put this plug on you. Look at, we know our right, we know we can do this to you. So we just want you to respect yourself. This is what it is before they even go in. So we go and unearth all such things and keep it, brandish it and tell them, just so you know that we know. So yeah, that works.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Martins Egbe, who allowed Thank God now to ask his own question. Please keep it brief. We're already out of time on this program.
Okay. Sorry. Good evening, house.
Good evening.
I am Thank God Yusuf by name from Adamawa State. Sorry for coming in later. My own is just to give a certain addition concerning the topic that we have been discussed because I'm just coming in. And what I wanted to chip in is that, you see, I want to add more concerning working on the mentality for us to improve that is our mission. You see, in Adamawa State, if I can say to be precise, I've never engaged myself so much in political activities like that of the recent this election that has taken place. But what I come to understand is that because there are even some people that were trying to, make some people to believe that our candidate, His Excellency Peter Obi, has been given a contract in order to, reduce the vote of the former Vice President, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. So, but me, I try my own possible best. But what I come to understand is that it's like there are some people that are made to believe that they will only come into organization or things like this or groups like this only to earn something. They will be at the forefront thinking they are working, because I have been let me say, I've been a delegate. No, not a delegate. I mean, I've been a decent. I've represented a certain party where I went to a certain level to even INEC office at local government level. But I find a place whereby a member of my group, that is of my party, who is representing my party, he will go and be supporting other parties' candidates. Right there, he's having a attack of Labour Party, but he's supporting another party, so that they are working together with that party to make sure that things work for that party. So what I'm trying to say is we're supposed to work on the mentality. We're supposed to work seriously, more especially in the north. Many of our people, they are even saying that we are only going to waste our vote. In our own case, we say it's better to waste our vote than to give vote to someone whom we believe, even if he comes, he won't give us what we want. It's better for us to say, we have voted for the right person, but something has happened. And in addition to that, if I will add another one different thing, because I've heard so many people have talking about this issue of mentality. But the another thing that I want to add in addition is that, like in our area, or let me say in the north, we need to build people. We need to build politicians that will stand for us at the top. Once we don't have people, I've heard some people who started talking about, the issue of we're supposed to have people that will represent us at the House of Representatives, at the members of State House of Assembly, and other things. So if we don't have politicians that will be at that level, or politicians at the top, there's no way that we can be able to make it in our own area. Let's say, for example, in our own area, because there are some certain levels where those that voted, if they reach that level, they won't have any strength or power to do anything for that. So now what is left is that they will only decide on what they want, because they won't reach or they won't pass that level. So I'm trying to make emphasis that let's try, or the people concerned should try and see, come to our level, select some people, build them. If I will give you another example, is like the present president of of Nigeria, His Excellency President Tinubu. If you see, he has built so many people in the north, and these are people that stood for him. They have fought for him. In fact, they have manipulated so many things for him, and that was what took him there. So we need to build people. We need to have some people that will have charisma, people that will stand, that are bold. Like, if I will give you another example of person that I know is bold and he has supported our candidate, is the former SGF, that is Baba Chair David Lawan. He has tried his best and he has removed fear. And people like him, if to say we are going to have many people like him in Adamawa State, I believe they vote, because I believe many people in Adamawa, in fact, we have seen where people has voted, more than half of that unit has voted for His Excellency, that is Peter Obi. But the issue is when we come to compelling the result and many other things, right from the other people that are representing different parties and the workers of the electorate, they have influence conspired and they have written some different results. And there is nothing that can be done, because we are not many there, because we don't have a representative, because we don't have a say in there. If you talk, people will beat you up. and there is nothing you can do. We try to get some evidences and other things, but at our own level, there is no one we can give report to. So I'm still making emphasis that please, these two issues, making emphasis, that is making awareness on people's mentality. Let them believe that we have come to do something that will make Nigeria better in the future. Our most priority is the poor, is Nigeria first. Then we should work on their mentality. Let them understand that we are having people at the heart. We want to work for the better Nigeria. We want to work for things that will bring improvement in Nigeria. Then we should work on how we can bring up some people that will grow in the politics, and the people that are not, that have charisma and are not afraid of many things. So this is what I want to make more emphasis on it, and I believe, I hope that this my contribution will play a very good role. Thank you very much. Once more, I'm Thank God Yusuf from Adamawa State.
Thank God, Thank you very much, Mr. Thank God from Adamawa State. Your contributions are noted. As a matter of fact, that is what COPDEM is about, and that is what the Obidient movement is about. Awareness creation and putting Nigeria first and creating that consciousness of accountability. From all we have discussed this evening, you could see that so much in focus for us in COPDEM. And we are going to keep this tempo, like our guest tonight has said. The only way is to keep this awareness on, keep this tempo on, keep the fire burning, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I want to thank everybody that took part in this town hall discussion series this night, and want to thank most especially our guest for the night, Ambassador Lilliane Ukoha. Thank you very much, madam.
Don't forget about building some certain people that will fight at the top.
Of course, we're already doing that. Of course, we're already doing that, Mr. Thank God.
Really an ongoing. Yes.
It's interesting to know that COPDEM has a political committee that is already identifying these people at the grassroots. If you were listening, you will hear Mr. Martin say we talked about Mr. Emeka Okolo, who is coming out for governor for chairmanship candidacy. He's an aspirant as it is, and he's going to run, and COPDEM is so much behind him. As a matter of fact, we'll be having a special edition for him on Wednesday, and we implore you to join us. We'll be discussing local government administration, how effective is it now, and what change is coming to make when he comes into office. So all of that we'll be looking at. So we're going to be engaging these people. We are going to be discussing these issues, and we are not going to rest on it. So that's what we'll be doing. Thank you very much, Ambassador Lilliane, for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I join all of us to please join us on Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock, for the special edition with Mr. Emeka Okolo, the chairmanship aspirant for Anyocha North local government for Delta State. Thank you and have a good night.
All right then. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night, Lady Slick.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.